You report the numbers for the quarter, as you said. We're very close to finishing it. Well, let's focus on the next one. Nazara Technologies is the company that we're going to talk about. Now, Nazara is investing 982 crores in Moonshine Tech, which owns online poker gaming platform Pokerbazi. And we're going to talk more about this. We have Nitish Mittersain, a joint managing director and CEO at Nazara, joining us now. Nitish, good morning. Great to have you with us here on CNBC TV18. Thank you for your time. I dare say the buzz or the vibe overall is waging a bet, be it in poker or be it in the stock market. So I think the acquisition is in tune with the times in that sense. But congratulations. I think it's the largest acquisition for you so far, by far, right? So tell us a little bit about this. How much cash are you putting to work? Because there is a... Oh, oops. I think
For the longest time, we thought he had a poker face. Little did we know that it was the connection which was making it
That's a good
the way
one.
he was. What can one say? We'll just try and repass that connection. But big acquisition, 1,000 crores.
And the point, Mangalam, they've done acquisitions,
Yes.
small acquisitions, like 150, 200 crores.
Right.
I mean, actually, last time I spoke with them, I said, well, it's almost an acquisition a week.
Yeah.
That's the pace of these small acquisitions they've done. But this is, as Rima earlier said, I think the revenues of the company are about 450 crores.
Yeah.
So that's about 40% of what the annual revenues right now are. And this, of course, also takes away a significant portion of the cash on the books.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to talk about. But as soon as we have, a stable line with Nitish.
What's also interesting
with us,
is that earlier, real money gaming accounted for sub 10% of their overall revenues. Now with this being added and this accounting for nearly 35% of their overall consolidated revenues, what does that do to the overall, mix of the business? And in light of the sort of regulatory issues that are surrounding the real money gaming issues, how does the company navigate through all of this? Something we'll be watching out for.
I guess in the past, Nitish has always maintained that as long as there's absolute clarity and certainty and stability on the tax rate, even if it is 28% GST, I think players will learn to live with it and move on. And maybe that's the premise on which they've gone ahead and decided to deploy almost 1,000 crores towards this particular acquisition, like big one, like you said, 982 crores to be precise.
I can tell you, poker is, I don't know, you guys play poker? I don't. I mean, I've been asked to learn and get almost coerced into learning. Maybe I will get there, but people who play,
Big fans.
They play through the night and wake up in the morning and go to work, and it's serious out there, and large amounts of money being bet. And I'm talking about sort of people like you and me.
Yeah, the age-old saying is that if you want to know the character of a person, play poker with that person. Because given the sort of skill that is required for you to, calculate probabilities, there are tells, and then there are, the way a person plays, whether he's aggressive or bluffing through their eyes. All of that, you get to know a person really well when you play poker with them.
I played once and I won. I think
that's called beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck.
Exactly. So that's why I've not tried my luck the second time.
All right, and talking about beginner's luck, I think we have Nitish back with us as well. Yes,
let's welcome in Nitish now. Nitish, hi, good morning. And I think the line was frozen earlier, and we were making the joke that you got a poker face on, but that was clearly a bad line. So let's begin again. Congratulations, big acquisition. I think the biggest that you've done by far. Talk to us a little bit about the mechanics of the deal. This will drain out a substantial amount of cash that you had. It'll leave you with very little cash. How are you sort of funding this? Will you look to raise more money? And then we'll actually talk about what you've acquired and the prospects there. Go on.
Sure. Prashant, as you know, Nazara had raised, significant cash in the last year. And we have been selectively making acquisitions where we think will add significant scale, growth, and profitability to our platform going forward. We've been quite patient about it, built a very strong deal pipeline, and have got a lot more active in our M&A in the current year, I would say, in FY25. I think with this current Pokerbazi transaction, they are the market leaders by far, over 55% market share, a fantastic team, and significant growth. We put out some numbers and you can see how they are growing. So we think it's the right bet for us to take. We are very excited about it. In terms of cash reserves, we continue to be well funded. We are a cash flow positive company generating free cash flow every year. and we will continue to be acquisitive, in opportunities that we like. We may raise some additional primary capital as and when we require it.
So could you tell us before this transaction, because you did 2 other acquisitions before this, right, in quick succession.
Yes.
So how much cash was there before this acquisition? After you pay this out, how much will be left? So you're paying out about 700 crores in cash for this, right? How much cash will be left in the books? And you said you may do another round of fundraising.
Yes.
I mean, the size and what's on your mind, and will it be very soon?
So we had 1,400 crores of cash on our books. Post the recent acquisitions of the Kiddopia stake and the Fusebox UK studio, we had approximately 900 crores left. So we can fully fund this on our own steam, but we will also, look at getting some good investors on board. This is a good opportunity for that. And in the coming days and weeks, hopefully we will be able to achieve that.
And that
So
will
can
be
you
a fresh
elaborate?
issue of shares, Nitish?
Yeah. Yes.
So can you give us some sense on, let's say if you're going to go the QIP way, what is the kind of equity dilution you're looking at? How much would you want to raise by way of fresh equity capital?
So we haven't decided the route we will take, nor the amount, but we will partly fund this transaction that we are going to, pay out for.
Okay, so when you say partly, does that mean 50%, 60, 70%? We're just trying to get to some rough, estimates in size here.
We're still evaluating it. Our board will review the options, so we still don't know the right amount.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the here and now, Nitish. After this, deal that happens and post-conversion of your preference shares, what will be the stake that you will hold in Moonshine immediately? And post that, what are the plans for increasing stake further?
So right now, we will hold about 48% stake. This is excluding the 150 crores primary capital that we are putting in as CCPS, which we will trigger a conversion at a future date as and when we want to. So the CCPS will get converted at a future date at a formula as is linked to future revenue, and therefore I can't give the exact post-conversion percentage right now, but it should get us closer to the majority stake in the company.
So at 48%, of course, it will not be part of the consolidated numbers. It'll just come as an associate or a little more than that. Is it
You're
a
right.
plug-and-play model? It's about 40% of your revenues. What are the kind of synergies that you believe you can attract from or achieve from a business like this, and margin improvement as well?
I think there are a lot of synergies. It's a consumer-facing product. We already spend a lot of time in marketing and a lot of ad dollars, so there could be economies of scale. Our esports division is very strong, and there could be synergies with Nordwin Gaming. So I think our team has worked out several synergies, but I think on a standalone business, this is in itself a very strong standalone business, growing very fast. And therefore, we are not going to rush into synergies today. We want to just support this business and scale it in the next 2-3 years, and softly
Nitish?
look at that we go along.
Nitish, what could be, how large is the market as such? And how large can this business become, in your opinion? I mean, now that becomes a bit of a projection, but what's your sense?
I think the skill-based online gaming market in India has been growing very fast, as can also be seen in the recent GST Council meeting outcome. The tax collected by online gaming has significantly increased. I saw it was about 400% increase to almost 7,000 crores in the last 6 months. So as you can see, this industry is growing extremely fast and will continue to grow as more and more people come online, more and more people are digital, right? This is the new world we live in. And I think the tailwinds are very strong for this business.
No, absolutely. That point is well taken. And I think this was discussed even before the GST meet that just concluded. The kind of revenue collection that the government is managing, because the market seems to have digested it, the reality of 28% GST on real money gaming. So Nitish, now just give us your targeted business mix in terms of the strategy going forward. How much is going to be real money gaming with this acquisition, and to what extent do you want to scale it up to? And then the other segments as well. I mean, there's still sports, there is the gamified learning. So in terms of the verticals and real money gaming itself, the focus going forward on this segment.
So for us, the core gaming business, which is game studios that we own and develop games, for example, Fusebox or Kidopia or World Cricket Championship, remains a very strong core focus for us, and this will continue to grow. We will continue to be acquisitive in that space, and also continue to be a high margin driver and cash flow driver for us in the coming years. So I think from a Nazara perspective, we are going to continue to focus very strongly on core gaming. We have the esports business, which we believe is also we are the market leaders in that space through Nodwin Gaming and Sportskeeda. And again, it's a business with very strong tailwinds because that's what the youth really wants today. And we will continue to dominate that space and grow in the next 2-3 years. On the skill-based real money gaming space, one point to notice at this point of time with a 48% stake, we are not going to be consolidating revenues of this company. So it will remain an associate in our books and therefore will not have a direct revenue contribution to the business for the time being.
But eventually you're taking your stake above 51%, right? So I mean, when that happens, and just tell us if that's going to happen, maybe not in FY25, maybe in FY26, then on a consolidated basis, what's the exposure to real money gaming?
Once we consolidate, it may increase to 15-20%, but I don't have exact maths right now because these are moving targets, right? Our other businesses are also growing, and we don't know at exactly what time we will consolidate if we do consolidate. So I think we will have to see how it plays out in the coming years.
Just a final question before we let you go. Last year, this business grew at around 54% with margins at around 10% on an organic basis. What's the projected growth rate here? And you said you won't rush into driving synergies, but maybe at some point, you could give us a number in terms of the scalability or the cost savings that can take place because of these synergies. So on a steady state basis, what is the growth rate that you can project for this business and how much can be the synergies that you would add?
I think PokerBaazi is investing very aggressively in brand building, and therefore you will continue to see strong growth in the coming years as we report numbers for them as an associate. So I think we will continue to see very good numbers there. In terms of synergies, like I said, there are multiple synergies. Hopefully, they will help increase EBITDA margins. In the longer term, I think this is a business that can generate very high EBITDA margins, but we have to kind of, optimize. For example, in recent year, the GST costs have gone up by almost 400%. So we will have to scale the business to be able to extract, higher EBITDA margins.
Okay, all right. I know this is a projection, Nitish, but 2 years down the line, what kind of top line can we look at?
I really am not in a position to give a guidance right now on that.
Okay, all right. Maybe another time. Nitish, thank you very much. Good having you with us here. Appreciate you joining in. With Perspective stocks, by the way, moved into the green, but only slightly so, about 0.5% plus higher.